Hello, everybody. This is CJG Fine Art. This is working with low detailed pictures. This is a time lapse of a golden retriever I did, and yes, that is the picture. Obviously, I have kind of cropped out the background, but it will be on for the whole episode here. So I'm going to start with the eyes. And I'm basically just mapping everything out like how I normally do. I do like a really light colored amber, and I do have some uh, light umber in there. I use my black pencil to outline even more. I have my grays in there. And if you see in the picture, there's like the flashes that are in the dog's eyes or the reflections. Um, so I didn't want them obviously to be like that. So I kind of just added a little shine on there instead. I could have went probably a little bit more detailed, but I think for what this is, it's going to be cute, and it is for my client's wife, so that'll be exciting. He's excited to see her, to see it, to see the dog. This was like their first dog that they had together back like years ago. Now I'm just adding in a bunch of different fur textures. I added in like a really light cream base. I think I added a white and then a light cream, and then I added in some darker fur colors. And now I'm just kind of going back in. So for example, like golden retrievers, depending on the sun or the light that they are in, can appear golden, or they can appear a little bit more red. Also like their fur can be a slightly a red or a creamy color, as well as also everything in between. But like your shadows are going to have some grays, greens, and then again, depending on like the temperature of the picture, you're going to have maybe some blues, violets in there, or if it really is more, maybe you're going to go with more deeper colored oranges or browns, just to have it a little bit more warm. Maybe some more reds. This one I didn't want it to feel like the drawing was a flashed picture, so I'm kind of having a little bit of leeway with some of the things I'm doing. So like I know golden retrievers, they have these eyebrows, right? Most dogs have like those little eyebrows, but a lot of times they're pretty prominent on kind of dogs who have shorter haired in like the face. So I made sure that I had that. Just making sure all my hair directions going the same way. I also didn't feel like I had to use my embossing tool, which is like that indent tool. Those are, you can also use those for clay. So if you're looking, you're like, I can't find this thing that you're talking about, look in like the clay section, or modeling, like clay modeling section in like the art stores. They should have them on there. You can also look up embossing tool like online or like through Amazon or whatever, and they should have a couple different ones. I like to get like the small ones that have like the fine needle point, and then maybe another side that's just a little bit wider, so you have some variance. Anyways, so I am layering now. I did decide to use a solvent with this. Oh, as you can see, I think I just used it. I forgot how fast I did this time lapse. I just wanted to make it a little bit shorter of a video. I am starting another piece though, so I'm hoping to make another video on that as well. I like doing these time lapse. They're fun. You can kind of see in a short amount of time versus like waiting an hour or two to see something come together. I feel like that's something more for like a live event. Right now I'm layering out the left, what would be our left ear here. So what I did was, again, I put a coat of white and cream down, because I do use my scrape away method with my X-Acto knife, with the back side of your X-Acto knife, not the front side where that sharp edge. Just turn it over so that the back edge can scrape away. It's another technique a lot of people use. And here, I do have to say, I'm not afraid to kind of say where I kind of struggled. So this ear, you can see the kind of like there's like a crease, and I was like, it was just so hard to see, and my brain was trying so hard to comprehend what was going on. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do what I can. We're gonna move on. And it's all gonna work out because that's just what it does. So if you struggle with an area, you don't have to consistently work on it. Just kind of stop what you're doing. Be like, okay, you know what? I'm not sure what this is. Just kind of move on to a different one. And you're like, you know what? I think this would look great here. So I kind of stopped, and you might see me a couple times come back and touch up some of those areas. So now I'm doing the other side of the face again. When you do fur, leave spaces between your marks. All right, so here I'm using some solvent around. You can see that the color gets more saturated as the solvent kind of loosens up the wax and the color pigment, and it gets into the tooth of the paper more. You don't have to do this. You can use a lot more layering. This just honestly saves a lot of time. All right, I'm on to the right ear. I'm just going so fast. And again, I did white cream, I believe, or at least I should have. I do use a pink color in this too. There is actually some pink color in the golden retrievers. If you use some of that, that'll help out your saturation as well. You don't want a pink golden retriever, but that can just help bring in some saturation. There I'm going in with my white. The one thing I also like using about the solvents is that because it does make the colored pencils kind of thin out, I'm able to take my white occasionally, as long as I have some tooth of the paper left, and it will go over some of the darker areas. Is it pure white? No, but is it like a nice little highlight? Yeah. All right, now I'm working on the nose here, and I also noticed that the nose just is slightly not the angle I want. So you'll see me kind of try to touch it up a little bit, but I honestly just kind of think, okay, well, my picture, maybe he's like, at least like on my drawing, maybe he's just snarling back. Like, that's all you have to do. It's like, okay, I can see it that way versus trying to be exactly 110% like the picture. Because honestly, when they see this and they hang it up, they're going to be impressed. You only have to impress two people, right? And yourself. I mean, I want it to be good. I want it to be as realistic as I possibly can with the picture I have. The other thing that you can do is look up golden retriever fur and things, or just look up tons of golden retriever pictures and just look at them. Just like, look, okay, like, okay, they typically have like brown eyes, and they a lot of their eyes are heavy outlined in black, or like they have really fluffy fur around their jawline. There are variations to the golden retriever, but you just want to you want to make it like your own. Like I did this for me. Like this every drawing I do is for me, even though yes, it's for like a client, but every drawing's for me. Like if this was my dog, how would I see this? Okay, I zoomed in a little bit here. The nose took me a little while because I didn't want the nose to look dirty. As you can see, I have actually quite a bit of layers because there is that shadow on there, and I kept trying to remind myself I don't want it to look like the dog got flashed with a camera, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm adding all these little details. I did add again, every area I start with this, even though you probably can't see it, or if the time lapse kind of skipped it, is adding your light colored bases down, especially like your highlight color down first, especially in the areas that you know, okay, I want to go back and like maybe scrape away this area. Do like a layer, at least like 2 layers, because when you go back in and scrape away, that underneath layer will come back. Will it be pure white? Probably not. Could you make it pure white? You probably can. That's a lot of work. But I don't want it pure white. Nothing on this animal right now, nothing on this dog is pure white except maybe that reflection in their eyes. So if any part of my drawing is pure white, then we got an issue. All right, so I'm doing some touch-ups, adding in, I wanted to add in a little bit more saturation, so I'm taking, I believe this is canary yellow from the Prismacolor, I can't remember, it's one of the yellows. maybe mango or something. All right, start the tongue. The tongue was actually kind of fun. Just did a lot of swirlies. And yes, that's the tongue. That they wanted the tongue in there. I said, that's great. I'll put it in there. And I did have another tongue photo pulled up because I didn't want it to just look like a wet mess. I wanted to actually have some kind of detail in there. So I have all of this hidden underneath detail that you really have to kind of get up close to see because I didn't want it to overtake from the picture, if that makes sense. So like when hanging up a wand, people, oh, look at this. And then like, oh, look at the detail in the tongue. You know, that's what I want to say. I don't want to hang it up and someone be like from, 6 some feet away and they're like, why does that tongue look like the way it does? You know what I mean? Like, you don't want that. You want just something gentle. Unless the tongue is the main part, but it is. Anyway, besides the point, again, going down here with the fur, as I go, I do kind of touch up some areas as well. So if you see me kind of jump up and down with my hand, I'm probably just touching a couple areas because now that I got a lot of it done, you can see like, oh, okay, I want to make this darker. Like, oh, I want to bring in this color here, or I want to add a little shadow here. It's kind of hard to make things a little bit lighter unless you can erase really well, or if you have something that can erase. I do add, I do have to say for the name tag as we get there, the dog's name was Sunny, so I wrote Sunny on there. And then I thought it'd be cute because, like, dog has passed, and I just keep thinking of the sun. This dog is just having its best days in the sun, so I do add a cute little sun on there too. I think that you'd appreciate that. You don't have to do that. I just know this is actually also for a coworker of mine, and I just think that they would find that really cute. So. But before you start changing dog tags, please talk, ask them, be like, hey, I think like your dog tag is like really cool. Can I add like the name to it? Is there anything else I can like kind of add in there? And if they say no, just do it as it is. It's okay. Okay, great. Just do it as the picture it is. Or be like, oh yeah, can you like maybe turn around just a little bit so that we can kind of see the name? Like, yeah. So anyway, I'm starting to finish up the sides here. So I feel like I did a pretty good job at getting. I'm getting better at this profile thing down at the bottom. That was like the hardest thing when I first started. I was like, because everything was like a V, so I wanted it to kind of just blend out a little bit more. And then at the end of the video, I will have a really good picture of the doggo finished. And then we'll be on to the next drawing. So we're just going to take a second here and we'll just let this finish out. Oh yeah, I do a, after I added this blue onto the color, I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, this would almost be like a good color to do around the, the dog. I was like, oh. So then I spent the next hour and a half. It's already like 9 o'clock per se. I think it was like a Friday night. I just got home. I was like, I'm going to finish this. I want to finish it. I can't get it out of my head. And I sat there and for some reason I forgot I had pastels. I had chalk pastels and I should have used the pastels. Instead, it would have been way faster, a little bit more abstract background, but I just went ham. As you can see, I'm pretty sure my camera dies in the middle of me doing this. But I do add a blue background. I think it'd be really cool. And I added it to where if they were to put a mat, the mat would just come up to the edges of it. So like I said, I will have a picture at the end of this and take it for what it will. And I hope you guys kind of learned something a little bit. So tips and tricks, look up different reference photos. Don't be afraid to ask tons of questions and make sure, or even ask if they have more pictures. Sometimes that's the only picture they have. But anyways, just take your time and practice on a different piece of paper for a bit, get some of your fur techniques down, get some of your colors, and then go from there. And just take your time. Don't rush. Okay? Any picture, well, I shouldn't say any picture, but you know what I mean. If you got those hard to work with pictures, just understand that might be the only photo, but you also have the right to turn people away. Okay? All right. Thanks, guys, for watching, and hope you enjoy, and see you in the next one. Bye.